Here we go.
Now, more Out of the Box on Q1043.
Welcome back. Jonathan Clarke joined live in the studio with a great New York City band called Earl Greyhound. Welcome, everybody.
Oh,
clap for
thank
yourself.
you. Wow, that's great.
Hello, New York.
Hello, everybody.
And you guys are a power trio. I love power trios. Matt White on guitar and lead vocals, Kamara Thomas on bass, Rick Sheridan on the John Bonham-like drums. So welcome, you guys. Matt, you and I spoke on the phone a couple months back on the 300th Out of the Box show. So let me ask Kamara first, since we haven't met before. And I can probably count on one hand the great female bass player. So who inspired you to pick up this huge bass guitar and start playing?
You know, Matt and I sang together one night, and then he asked me to play bass, which I didn't know how to do, and he found me a really nice one, I guess from his childhood, somewhere in someone's basement somewhere. It turned out to be a pretty nice bass. It's like a 71 Fender Precision.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
But to answer the question, I get the credit.
Is that he was just like, "Can you please learn how to play bass to be in this band?" I was like, "Okay." So I didn't really study any bass players, but like...
Did you know how to play guitar?
I know how to play guitar.
Okay.
And I knew how to bang, the notes. And I ended up just loving the bass because it was a little simpler to understand.
Now, do you play it with your thumb, or do you play it like with the fingers?
I play with a pick or with the index and middle fingers.
Well, and how did you hook up with these guys?
I know Matt through we knew each other through mutual friends, and we, like I said, we sang together one night. We really enjoyed singing with one another. We really respected each other's songwriting, and we just started playing together.
Is this the genesis, like, happening in New York City when you guys all met, or where did this all happen?
Yeah, everything in New York. I'm from Chicago originally. Matt's from Connecticut, and Rick is from North Carolina.
Well, Rick, so where on earth did you learn how to play the drums like that, man? I mean,
Oh, man. I've been in love with drums.
That is like a freight train, man. Yeah, who were your inspirations growing up?
Definitely Mitch Mitchell, Buddy Miles, John Bonham, Elvin Jones, Tony Williams, Lenny White.
Oh, man, all of them great drummers.
I love all those guys.
And if it never works out for the drums, you got a great career in radio with that voice. So I want to show our listeners why I think Earl Greyhound is like the next biggest thing. But before that, Matt, talk about this song on your latest CD, Soft Targets, that I love to play on the show, SOS.
SOS, I remember that song it came together probably towards the end of the putting everything together process. And because it wasn't really like anything else that we were playing at the time, and it was just kind of came together as a fluke, and we put all the parts together, as a band, and everything just happened in it,
It is Jonathan Clarke live in the studio with Earl Greyhound, and when I listen to the CD, I definitely hear Led Zeppelin. We were talking about that, but let's go around the room. Ask a question: favorite albums of all time, Matt?
How many?
Give me like one or two.
Do you think with some hard work we could bump that up to 3 or 4?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, House of the Holy, Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark, In Excess, Listen Like Thieves.
In your iPod now, or yes or no? Or do you have an iPod?
Don't have an iPod.
Okay, you'll get one probably. Kamara, how about you?
I'm going to have to say Fleetwood Mac Groomers. I still listen to that about once a week,
Modestly
to be perfectly
successful
honest.
CD, yes.
Harry Nilsson,
wow,
The Point,
right.
was the soundtrack of my life from like 2 to till now.
Right.
And then it's got to be a country record. I would say, I love Dolly Parton, the RCA years, but I mean, it's like a compilation of all of her RCA recordings. And she's amazing.
Well, you've pretty much covered the spectrum of pop music right there. How about you, Rick? Your albums, your top 1, 2, 3.
I would have to say, first of all, Birds of Fire Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Oh, John McLaughlin, yeah.
Visions of the Emerald Beyond Mahavishnu Orchestra. Tales of a Blue Orphanage, Thin Lizzy.
Okay,
and
cool.
Houses of the Holy.
Excellent.
I'm in love with that record.
Well, the band is Earl Greyhound. The album is Soft Targets. Matt White, Kamara Thomas, and Rick Sheridan. Thank you so much for stopping by the show tonight. We'll see you rock the Bowery Ballroom June 14th. For more info, Q1043.com. Keywords Out of the Box. And talk about, before we go, this song, All Better Now, which is track 2 on the CD.
Yeah, that was another one that kind of came together around the same time. Like SO, that was the thing. They say you can spend, your entire life making your first album, and I mean that was somewhat true for us, as we had been playing together for a couple of years, and then I think half the record that was like older repertoire, and then the other half was just stuff that just kind of like bam, bam, bam came together.
Yeah, I seem to remember like you would just like come into rehearsal you'd be like, look what I just love, blah, 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 blah. There was a certain moment where Matt kind of like some kind of floodgates opened, and he would come to rehearsals with these like, I mean, at the time they sounded almost like ridiculously fun,
Yeah.
We were like, fun. So I seem to remember that. SOS too, it was just like, whoa, that's so